Hello, I'm currently editing and I'm going to be adding this into the video for this week. But I wanted to let you know that right now, right this second, you can try Single Mom Mindset and Empowered Mom Mindset for free with a free trial. That's 72 hours of full access to the content that's available. It's not everything, but to just kind of give you a glimpse into what these programs have to offer you. And we're going for power. We're going for change. We're going for transformation, empowerment. All of these things are jam-packed inside of these programs. So I'm excited for you to try them. What a fun opportunity to try them on without having to commit. And yeah, you can check it out. The link below, everything is there. And I'm so excited to be a part of this journey with you. Hi, and welcome back. Okay, we're dealing with some atrocious lighting. I'm doing this while we have no power. It's windy where we live, and anytime there's a large gust of wind here, we lose power, which is not really convenient. The baby's trying to sleep. He usually has like a sound machine, which is plugged into the wall, so the sound machine's not working, but we're rolling with it. Today's filming day. I need to get some stuff done. We're doing it. We're rolling with it. That is motherhood. Okay, just a little glimpse into, being a mom. If you're thinking about doing this, this is what it is, okay? And ironically, it kind of pairs perfectly with what I want to talk about today. I feel like I've talked so much about like the logistics and the planning and the choices that you have as a single mom by choice or someone that's on this journey. Choosing a donor, fertility, the myths, all of these things. Like I feel like we've talked about these things quite a bit, but I don't know that I've really touched on just like day-to-day life, what to expect as a single mom by choice that is raising a donor-conceived person, donor-conceived child, and what to really expect from that, like just the reality of life as a single mom by choice, someone who chose this journey using a donor to have a baby as a solo mama. So I kind of want to give you a glimpse because I know I would have paid good money to kind of pull back the curtain and see into somebody's life who's living what I think I want to be living, So, I'm an open book. You could always ask me whatever specific questions you have. I kind of have a little list of questions that I do get kind of frequently, or questions that maybe I would have had. And I'm going to do my best to answer those for you today to kind of give you just a little glimpse at what it's like, okay? My son, in case you are new here, is 3 and a little bit. And my daughter, who I had from a previous engagement, the father's not involved at all, but she's going to be 10 in April, which is insanity. But yeah, so I've been a single mom for a while, but raising a donor-conceived child, I've only been doing it for 3 years. So of course, things are going to evolve as life goes on. I'm going to also insert, I'm not sure where in the video yet, but I'm going to be inserting a little video that I did with my son, just talking about how we have a different family and how there are different kinds of families and whatever, to kind of give you an idea of the kind of conversations that we have just really passively. That I feel like a lot of moms or single moms by choice do have with our children from what I've learned in our community. But yeah, it's really, I don't really know how to say it. It's probably a lot like what you imagine it would be. Again, I was a single mom for a while before I had my son, so I kind of knew what to expect. Motherhood is something that nobody can really prepare you for, and I talk about it all the time. Like I have programs, I have resources, I have all these things. We have this lovely community, but nobody, okay, even like the top dog people, even, the biggest celebrities that you follow or creators or all these things that are moms, cannot really equip you for what exactly motherhood is, because it's different for everybody in a lot of ways. We all have different backgrounds and beliefs and ways of doing things, and we all have, our own baggage we're bringing with us everywhere. And, no one's going to do it exactly the same way, right? And there's no handbook. I mean, there's some guidelines, of course, and things are coming out all the time on how we can be the best parents ever to our children. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to do things your way, I do my things my way, and it's truly something that you kind of learn as you go, right? Unless you're implementing all the things that your parents did and the generations before, and those things are all set in stone and that's the way that you want to parent, which oftentimes isn't the case. We usually want to change some of the things that didn't go so great in the generations before. So a lot of the times we're learning, we're evolving. Like I said, we're reading things, we're listening to the experts and trying to adapt. But again, it's whatever kind of feels right for you, right? So I can't tell you what motherhood is really going to be like and how to be the perfect mom, and because nobody is, and we're all just learning. So that's just like a little precursor, a little, I have to be honest with you thing. And yeah, but I mean, I just registered him. I'm gonna cry. Registered my son for school. He's gonna be starting pre-K in the fall. Here in Canada, there's pre-K for 4-year-olds. I know some places don't have that, or they call it something else. Here it's like pre-kindergarten, preschool for 4-year-olds. He's gonna be 4. And I don't know how I feel about it. His pediatrician was like, it's so good, it's recommended, he's gonna have so many friends, it's so good for him, and it's only gonna set him up for more success in his school career. The sooner he starts, the more he can adapt to the rules in school and all of those things, because he's been with me, right, since he was a little baby. So I don't know, but it's hard. It's honestly bringing up a lot of feelings of, oh my God, like not empty nester. Of course, my kids are going to be they can stay with me till they're 120 if they want to. But the idea of like having 6 or 7 hours a day where there's no kids in my house, like I don't know how. I mean, I could go to like the spa. Your girl can get her hair done. Finally, it's been forever. Can do some stuff, can maybe get a little Botox, maybe get a little facial, a little spa day situation happening. But yeah, just the thought alone is weird. Like the idea of like neither of my children being here for a good chunk of the day, 5 days a week is weird. So that's an adjustment, knowing that that's coming up in this year. My God. So that's another thing. Time flies, especially if it's your second, third, whatever. First is a little bit time still flies, but I don't think you realize it as much with your first. I know that I didn't anyways. It's really different when you throw a second or third baby in the mix. It's like, it's gone in a second. Like my son's going to be 4 this fall. What the fluff? So there's that. But yeah, the day-to-day stuff, honestly, again, like I have a bit of a different schedule than maybe some people because I have my own business, I work from home, I'm mentoring, and I'm doing these things, fitting things into my own schedule. So I don't have maybe for some of you like a typical 9-to-5 type situation, or maybe, you're working in the medical field or something where you're working 12 hours, 3 days a week, or just crazy schedules like that. So that's not really something I can speak to with kids. I know there's lots of wonderful moms who do have different schedules like that and they make it work and whatever, you kind of adapt and you have a plan of action and you make it happen. For myself, like I said, I can kind of make my own schedule, which is fantastic. It's amazing, truly. It's a freaking blessing. So when I first became a single mom with Riley, I was working in corporate. Riley's my daughter. I was working in corporate and I was doing the 9-to-5, Monday to Friday situation. She was in daycare and you kind of do what you got to do. I was on my own for the majority pretty early on anyways. And a typical day, let's say like a Monday to Friday situation, was we'd wake up relatively early and have our breakfast, get ready, and I'd bring her to daycare. Her daycare was actually really cool because they would have like snacks in the morning too, which was cool. So if she didn't eat much in the morning because it was freaking early, she'd have an opportunity to eat there. Also, the daycare that she had, both of her daycares that she went to, they were private daycares. Again, different regions have different availabilities and different things and costs, and of course that's all things you have to look into. But the private daycare that she went to, they provided lunches and stuff, so that was cool because I didn't have to think about it. It wasn't another thing that I had to pack for my little baby who, you know, you're cutting up everything super small. And there's like added stuff to it, right? Added steps. So that was really great. If that's something that you can afford or is available to you, I certainly recommend that if you are going to be doing daycare. The other option would be if you could have like an au pair or maybe part-time nanny or full-time nanny is fantastic also. Someone to come in and really help you if you work from home or whatever it is. Again, everyone's situation is different. But yeah, so we'd have our morning routine, whatever, rush her off to daycare. And then of course I'd rush to work, spend my day, do the work thing. And then I'd pick her up immediately after work, come home, we'd make dinner, bath, because after daycare, you want to give them at least a good rinse because they're catching everything left and right, especially when they're small. So yeah, there was like ear infection and strep and croup and like they catch everything because everything's in their mouth when they're small. And yeah, so that's fun. Again, I've been so lucky with Leo that he only catches stuff that Ryle bring home, like a cough, a cold. Like he hasn't, I don't know for better or worse really, but he hasn't caught a lot of things because he hasn't been exposed to a lot of little guys. So I guess we'll see what happens in the fall when he is exposed to everyone, boogers and all the stuff for the little kids, you know, they're known for that, coughing and in your face and the whole nine. So we'll see. But yeah, then we would come home, do the bath, and it would be pretty much bedtime. And the day just goes really, really quick. And it kind of feels like you're rushing through everything sometimes. But yeah, I mean, that was basically really a Monday to Friday. And then the weekends would be, I tried my best, especially I'm thinking back to Riley just because she's 10 now. So I have a little bit more that I can like share about. Yeah, the weekends we would try to get out. We'd try to do things. We would do like little weekend activities, go to like a little amusement park, like a kids amusement park. She was doing gymnastics, little things like that, like little kid like tumbling or whatever it is. But yeah, we would do just little outings, go to the zoo, go to wherever, really go shopping and just browsing and checking out the toy stores. And I don't know, we'd play at home. Like it was pretty, I don't know. It doesn't sound I want to say not exciting, but it wasn't that it wasn't exciting. It was just, it's motherhood. It's what we did. We didn't have a ton of money when Riley was really small. So I did my best really, but we had a lot of fun together, me and my little girly. And yeah, and now events like coming to now where Leo is again, 3 years old. I have my 2 babies. A typical morning now is we get up, we get ready, the usual for the most part. Sometimes I don't get ready and because I don't have to. But yeah, we get Rye ready, get her, I do her lunches in the morning because she starts a little bit later now that we don't have the daycare rush in the morning. I'm able to do her lunch in the morning, which I prefer because then I feel like it's fresher. So she doesn't have like a lunch that's been sitting in the fridge for 10 hours before she eats it or even later, longer than that. So I think that's kind of a gift also. And yeah, the kids have breakfast together most days, unless one of them wants to watch something different than the other one. And because there is a significant age gap. So sometimes he wants to watch like Llama Llama and she's like, I don't want to watch that. So sometimes they're in separate rooms doing their own thing while I'm making lunch and doing whatever. And yeah, then Leo and I bring Riley to school. We come back. Usually I catch up on just a few emails while he finishes eating his breakfast that he didn't finish because toddlers. And yeah, I mean, I catch up on some work and we play. And then if we have to go run some errands, we're able to go run some errands. We have our day. Today we did some watercolor painting this morning. We were doing his puzzles this morning. He loves a good puzzle, playing with his train set. We love the train set, playing cars, playing dinosaurs. Practicing his alphabet, just things like that. And yeah, and I'm kind of answering people here and there as much as I can. I'm working on a contract. I have that going on in the background, and yeah, just regular day-to-day life. And I think it's kind of funny because I don't know if I had this idea that because my son is donor conceived, that it would be something so extraordinary in our lives. Just because, there's all the narratives, right? So I kind of worried for a long time, like, oh my God, is he going to ask me like, weird stuff and I'm not gonna know what to say and whatever. But honestly, like, he's 3, so of course we have time. I mean, my daughter's 10, her dad's not around. We have conversations here and there. Like, she'll ask me, like, why did you guys not stay together and yada yada. And I keep, like, she's 10. What does she need to know? Her dad and I fell out of love with each other, and it was better for her and for us to not be together anymore. We weren't happy. And if you're not happy together, it's time to walk away sometimes. You know, if you tried and you worked at it and it wasn't working and it's just a really nasty place for everybody, sometimes it's best to just walk away and end things. And that's what happened. Didn't change how much we love her and that she's amazing. And we're so happy that she's a part of our life. Well, I can't really speak for anybody else, but that she's, you know, she's literally the love of my life, my favorite girl on the entire planet, and I wouldn't change a thing. And I'm so, so blessed and happy that she's a part of my life. And it's the same thing for my son, and that's really it. Like, my daughter and I have conversations about how there's so many different families and how it's a beautiful thing, because when I was growing up, you didn't see as much different kind of families openly living their lives as much, right? And for my parents' generation, it was never something that was talked about openly, right? It definitely wasn't celebrated, definitely wasn't something we were preaching about or talking about or boasting about, right? It wasn't, nobody talked openly about different kinds of families because it was so taboo and so shamed. So we have conversations like it all the time. I've caught her talking to her friends about how, yeah, you know, my mom's a single mom and she actually used a donor to have my brother and it's really cool and blah, blah, blah. And it's not some weird thing. Like, you might be thinking, if you're kind of where I was only a few years ago, you might be thinking like, oh God, is my kid gonna think it's weird? And how am I gonna handle these things? And it really starts with working on your confidence. It really starts with knowing yourself and why you're making this choice and what's led you here, and just getting grounded in your why. Again, this is something that I teach in all of my programs and resources that are geared towards single moms by choice, because it's so important. When you have your why for anything in life, it really grounds you when you're like, you know, when the going gets tough a little bit, you can bring yourself back to, why am I doing this? And remembering why you're doing it. Okay. So I chose to have another baby because I wanted to have a bigger family and I wanted my kids to be relatively close in age. I was dating, didn't really have any prospects. I didn't want to rush anything. I didn't want to force anything. I wasn't willing to just settle because I needed a husband to have a bigger family. I wasn't open to that. I didn't want that. I don't want that for my kids. Right? Like, really, who wins in that situation? Nobody. The guy doesn't, I don't, my children don't, right? So I didn't want that. I wanted to have more kids, have a bigger family, and I was already a single mom. I know that I could do it. I knew I could do it. And I know you can do it too, okay? And let me just say that. And yeah, so I decided to get help from a lovely gentleman who donated his resources and the help of a fantastic doctor and team at the fertility clinic here local to me. And it was a lovely experience. It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful choice. It still is to this day, an incredible choice that I've made. And the incredible women that I've connected with that are, you know, hopeful single moms by choice, already are single moms by choice, are single moms by circumstance, that feel empowered in this choice or in this life, you know, this circumstance, whatever it is that brought you here. Just such a group of empowered, happy women to know what a gift it can be to be raising your child independently and how many beautiful things come with that. Okay? The narratives that are anything other than that, I want you to pause and think about them. Where did they come from? Okay? And really, really, really think, okay, why it would be such an awful thing for a woman to decide to have a baby, not be in a situation where she's stuck and it's, oh, it was a bad night, or, we don't have to get into all the specifics here, but a woman who chose with intention, okay, who took conscious steps towards having a baby on her own because she knows how much she wants this child and is taking so many steps and working so hard and spending lots of money and making lots of sacrifices, okay, to have this child. How is that a bad thing? Really? Like, I could talk about this all day long. I can defend this choice all day long. I don't need to, and I won't. But it's such a beautiful choice. And if you're coming to this decision with a clear head and, a clear heart and knowing your why, which we talk about in depth in every resource I have for you, okay? You're never going to regret it. And I get a lot of, will I regret it? Oh my God, what if my kid asks me hard questions? I've got your back, okay? And it's backed by psychologists, the way that I help you do these things and approach these conversations and the way that you should be bringing up conversations and topics. All of this is backed by science, okay? Psychology. And it's really important for you to know why you're doing this. And once you're solid in that, you're good to go, baby. Because when your child asks you questions like my son does, the occasional Bluey, especially, I don't know if you've seen Bluey, but Bluey is a mom, dad, and 2 daughters, okay? And he's asked me before, they have a dad. And I said, yeah, that's Bingo and Bluey's dad. And I don't have dad. I said, no, we don't have a dad in our family. We're a mommy family, a single mommy family. Oh, okay. Like, he doesn't, again, he's 3. Of course, these conversations are going to be more in depth as time goes on. Of course, he's probably going to have more questions, undoubtedly, right? And I'm ready for them. I truly am. And if I know that if a question comes up that I'm like, oh my God, I was not ready for this one, it's okay for me to say, you know what, bud, that's a really good question. And I'm not really sure how I want to answer this question, or I'm not sure that I have all of the information to answer this question right now. So is it okay if mommy just takes a sec and we can put a pin in this and we can come back to this conversation this evening? That's okay. Okay. Again, in parenthood, motherhood, there's no rules and we don't have all the answers. I mean, my daughter will ask me questions about history. And she's like, Mom, didn't you go to school? Didn't you get all the way through high school and college? And I'm like, I don't remember any of this, okay? And yeah, I must have passed, grade freaking 4 history, of course, but I don't remember any of it. I didn't retain any of it. And I tell her, I don't remember. Truthfully, I don't remember. I didn't retain any of it. Let's find the answer together. And that's okay, because it's cool for her to know that, hey, mom doesn't know everything, because no mom knows everything. And it's okay to be like, you know what? I don't think I have the answer to this question right now. Just like with anything like history. Okay. And we'll come back to it. Let's find the answer together. And that's okay. All right. So when it comes to raising a donor conceived child, it's okay to not have all of the answers. The biggest thing is being so confident and unwavering in your decision that when they come to you, it's not like, oh my God, what did I do? Or, oh shoot, sorry. If you're doubting what brought you here to them being here, then that's going to come across. And that's where you need to get so solid and, prepared for, hey, I wanted you because you did, right? Or you wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be having this conversation, right? If you didn't really, really want this child, you didn't really feel called to be a mother, we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be 20 something minutes into this video. And so work on your confidence, work on your why, work on your decision. And I think that's pretty much everything. Now, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you need just a little insight, personalized insight, whatever it is, please do not hesitate, send me a DM, comment below. And thank you for being here. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're listening on the pod, please leave a 5-star review and share this episode with the single ladies in your life, the mamas that might be considering doing this. And yeah, I'm sending you all the love in the world. Have a wonderful week. Bye.